French President Emmanuel Macron is set to address the nation for the first time since the signing of the controversial pension reform into law. Just hours after the Constitutional Court backed the pension reforms, Macron signed the legislation. The law is a huge setback for the protesters. Even after 3 months of protests and strikes, the French government went ahead with the policy change. However, the left and unions have warned of mass protests on May 1st, Labour Day. According to reports, Macron is expected to address the nation at around 1800 GMT. French government spokesperson Olivier Véran says the speech will be in the spirit of pacification. Opinion polls are still showing a vast majority supporting the protesters, with Macron's popularity rating plummeting. The French media has dubbed the victory as Pyrrhic victory, referring to the Greek king who defeated the Romans but lost most to his army during the process. Emmanuel Macron, who came into power in 2017, vowed reforms and a fresh wave of French politics. But opposition leaders have long accused him of becoming increasingly reclusive and anti-democratic.
Et puis, cette stratégie, elle assume.
For more updates on this, our correspondent Ross Cullen sent us this report from Paris. Listen in.
Well, the unions have called for May Day, the 1st of May, traditionally a main protest day anyway, when there are lots of marches in support of the International Day of Labour. They've called for that day to be another major day of mobilisation, social action, bringing people back onto the streets, maybe looking for more than 1 million people nationwide to show the government that they are not going away, that there is no protest fatigue. The unions are determined to show the government that opposition to this reform, despite it now being law, continues. They want the government ideally to scrap the law, to go back on what it's determined to do, which is to enact this law by the end of the summer. It is coming into force legally on the 1st of September, now that President Macron has signed it into law. But there is also a slight change in some of the tone of some of the unions. They are aware that it might not be feasible to have another 6 months of endless strikes. They are looking, one union leader said, for perhaps a different way of trying to continue to show their opposition to the pension reforms, of which the headline policy change is that France's retirement age for the general population is now going to rise from the 1st of September from 62 to 64. President Macron will be looking to try to shape the next 4 years, what is left of his second term in office, perhaps by outlining further reforms to show that there is still ambition in his government to try to pursue some policy changes. But we could also hear perhaps a change in tone, maybe a more collaborative. That's certainly what he's asked Prime Minister Elizabeth Bourne to do, particularly in Parliament, to try to build a bit more of a majority from different parties in Parliament for upcoming reforms. And so this evening, local time in France at 8 p.m. here, we will hear what President Macron has to say. Ross Cullen in Paris.